Oh, for fuck's sake. There goes Juju Brents, and not for anything. There probably goes the monetization for this video. YouTube, you know what? Keep your fucking $1.25 like I give a shit right now. When does it end with this Indianapolis Colts football team? And y'all know me. I try to be the one that's objective, non-emotional, all of that stuff. But the injuries, like, it's one thing, right? I geek out over the game of football more than anyone, okay? I don't need a team to be perfect to enjoy it. I kind of enjoy the idea of seeing improvement and picking apart what they could do to get better, all that type of stuff. I don't mind losing a game, right? Because I like to talk football. It's not just about the result to me, even though, of course, as a fan, that matters, clearly. But also, it's just fun to talk ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those guys. But when it comes to the injuries, I mean, for Lord's sake, enough is enough. What did I do to deserve this? What did we do to deserve this? I'll tell you what we did to deserve this, okay? Ever since we sent Peyton Manning out, we kicked him out the back door because of that neck injury. He goes on the Broncos. He breaks the record. It has not been the same since. I mean, the injuries do not end for this Indianapolis Colts football team. And you look and you say, listen, last year, going back to last offseason, rewind, stick with me. I'm on a fucking rant of the highest order right now, so enjoy it while it lasts, okay? Last offseason, think about the moves that we made to improve this team. We signed Samson Ebukam. He's fucking hurt. We drafted Juju Brents. He's hurt. We got Matt Gay in free agency. He has a hernia from swinging his leg around. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? I mean, I know I just only named 3, but there's more. I just don't want to sit here and start fucking flipping out all over the place. I mean, yeah, Justin, calm down. I'm pissed. I mean, I'm fucking furious. It's one of those deals where you look and you say, listen, at what point do we look at the, right? When you say a Chris Ballard, right, who I defend more than anyone, he comes out here in a case like this. Do you know how tired I am of hearing Chris Ballard say, oh, injuries happen, blah, blah, blah. Well, not for anything. When you draft a guy in Juju Brents who had a broken wrist when you drafted him and wasn't even ready to start training camp and has been injured every second since the time that we got him, at what point do you look and say, hey, maybe you don't draft guys that are hurt, okay? You look at Latu, knock on wood. I love him, okay? He got absolutely manhandled by Laremy Tunsil, one of the great left tackles in the game of football on Sunday. But Latu has a very bright future. But you even look at that and you say, listen, you're drafting a guy in the first round, chuckling your way. We just got the best rusher in the draft. Chuckling your way like you just got some sort of... And that guy has neck injury in his past. What if that comes up? We sit there and say, hey, injuries happen. It becomes a lot less plausible, a lot less credible to say injuries happen when you're drafting guys that are injured. A guy like Julian Blackmon, he's a complete stud, okay? But he's injured in college. He's generally been injured in the pros, okay? And you look at the secondary group as a whole right now, how many guys that have injury histories or have been injured do we need to rely on? Juju Brents was one of them. We know Dallas Flowers was a healthy scratch on Sunday. Maybe some of you didn't know that, but he was. He was a healthy scratch on Sunday as he recovers from that Achilles injury. He was full through training camp. He didn't look like he came back up to speed. So now, in a week where I personally was at least optimistic, despite the rushing game that the Texans imposed on us, I was optimistic about the performance of the secondary. The football gods looked down and said, oh, Justin, you want to be optimistic about the Colts secondary? Well, how about this? Fuck you, take this on your way out. Or whatever, okay? Woo! All right. So, we're optimistic about the Colts secondary up until this moment right now. And perhaps as I calm down, things might change. But you look and you say, okay, as of right now, the corners for these Indianapolis Colts in the division that touts C.J. Stroud with Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, we just saw that. You got the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence, Evan Ingram, who I guess is kind of really going to be covered by his safety most of the time. But guys like Gabe Davis, Brian Thomas, who I think is going to end up being a better rookie than I thought he might be, Christian Kirk, et cetera, et cetera. Sure, you have Kenny Moore, but you look at our options on the outside. Jalen Jones, I love. He's a 7th-round pick. He's not meant to be your number 1 corner, okay? Jalen Jones, Dallas Flowers, Samuel Womack, the former 6th-round pick of the 49ers that we just claimed off of waivers, Chris Lamont, who I kind of like what he gave to us late last year, but then on the practice squad, Amir Speed, Jalen Simpson, Kelvin Joseph, David Long Jr. One more time. Jalen Jones, Dallas Flowers, Samuel Womack, Chris Lamont, Amir Speed, Jalen Simpson, Kelvin Joseph, David Long Jr. You pick your damn poison as to who the hell you want to play the other outside corner outside of Jalen Jones. I mean, give me a fucking break. I could not be more upset about this news right here, but it's just one of those deals where, listen, as a fucking Colts fan, this is part of it, all right? And I had to come home from work. I haven't even had a sip of water yet, and here I am spazzing out in front of my fucking computer alone. For what? For therapy? To cover the team? I mean, what is this all for? Holy shit. That's it. That's your coverage, right, of Jalen Jones right there. And today, Junior, that's your coverage of Juju Brents out for the year, which I don't even think I mentioned, but that's what we believe it to be, with a knee injury that I'm not even sure if he sustained during the game. I mean, when was he hurt? What happened? I don't know, but he's the only guy in this secondary that we are invested in at all, outside of Kenny Moore. Obviously, we paid him, but the only one that we've invested any capital in whatsoever is Juju Brents, and we can't keep this damn guy on the field. I mean, good grief. So, I didn't even plan to do an episode to release tonight, but I mean, that got me so furious. I said, not for anything. I have the microphone and the computer for a reason. I might as well fucking upload something to the channel because you got me in rare form right now. I mean, I am pissed about this injury. I don't even know who I'm mad at, why I'm mad. I mean, the guy got hurt. Prayers up to his recovery. But I mean, it just as we have suffered as Colts fans, okay? When it comes to injuries specifically, we need this to end, period. I don't know how. I don't know who to ask. The Lord above, somebody stop the injuries from hitting the Colts, particularly meaningful ones. I mean, oh gosh. So we're going to answer some of your questions, okay? I put out a couple posts. Some of you guys were nice enough to go ahead, leave a question. I said, hey, you guys got a question for me? Go ahead, drop it in the comments, and maybe I'll answer it on a show. Well, we're going to answer a few of them shortly, but before we do, you know what it is. My name is Justin. This right here is a very special edition of the Riding the Bench Colts podcast. As always, ask anyone enjoying, go ahead, shoot a like, and help me get out to as many Colts fans as humanly possible. Of course, comment your thoughts, subscribe. We want 3,000 subscribers over here on the YouTube page. Maybe we could get there before Juju Brents plays a snap again, okay? And then, of course, audio listeners, 5-star, 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 5-star review. If you enjoy the show, let the people know that that is the case. But without further ado, let's get into some of those questions. I'm just going to scroll through a few. Maybe I'll answer a few today. Maybe I'll answer a few another time. If I was more prepared to do this, I probably would have had them pulled them up on the screen or something like that for you to see. But instead, you're just going to have to listen to me read them and try to retain them as I do it. Okay. The Tactful Colt 8536 asked, what did you notice from Raekwon Davis, Justin? And I may paraphrase a little bit, okay? Restart. What did you notice from Raekwon Davis? I didn't really notice much from him when he played. Do you think he was a bit rusty from missing so much time, or was he just being manhandled when he was out there? You know, not for anything. That's a hell of a freaking question. I couldn't find that guy for anything, and the whole reason we brought that guy in was to stop the run. He did absolutely nothing. He was dealing with a blood clot for Lord knows how long during training camp. Go figure. No disrespect, but you're 350 some odd pounds, as you have to be a successful lineman in this league, dealing with blood clots. Go figure. Happy he's back, but he's going to have to be better than that, right? When you sign two people in an offseason and their names are Joe fucking Flacco and Raekwon Davis is going to have to be the guy to step up to make this offseason look any way successful at all when it comes to the free agent signings. We need better from him. So what did I notice from Raekwon Davis? Much like you, Tactful Colt, absolutely nothing at all. Basil Faulty, 241. Is that a reference to a show, by the way, brother? I know it. I mean, that's not you. I'm looking at your picture. That can't be you. Is that you? Okay. Indiana Fever versus a non-Colts NFL game. Which are you watching? Come on. You got to know the answer to this. I'm a football guy. I grew up a Celtics fan, an admitted bandwagoner, may I add, just like I was with the Indianapolis Colts, although clearly I'm loyal enough to be here with you. I would watch a non-Colts NFL game over the Boston Celtics. let alone the Indiana Fever, like I give a shit. No disrespect to Caitlin Clark and what they're building over there in all women's basketball, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend to care about the WNBA. No disrespect to the ladies, but a lot of these analysts all of a sudden making it like they've been WNBA fans for years. I certainly have not been. I'm not going to start pretending now. Okay. Those are two questions right there. Let's go to a different post and see. Let's see. Bing, 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 bing. Daniel Collins, 1996. I assume that's the year you were born. I was born in 1997. We're right in the same age there, brother. How much of a difference is Josh Downs going to make, and how bad do we need a veteran presence in that DB room? Well, to answer your first question, very much a big difference. Josh Downs is one of one in this wide receiver room. Now, how quickly he works back from that high ankle sprain, fucking surprise, another injury from an impact player for the Indianapolis Colts. How quickly he works back from that injury remains to be seen. But how much of a difference is he going to make? A very big one. He's one of one in this way. Right now, you look at the Colts receiving options other than like the running back situation, okay? You have Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, A.D. Mitchell, and the tight end room, okay? What you're missing in that group that Josh Downs brings, not only is a guy to move the chains, but one that is a specialist in the slot and one that has quick movement laterally and quick burst driving forward. I don't even know what that means. Point being, he's faster. He's quicker than the guys we have. He's the only one that is the type of guy that on a 3rd and 4, you're trying to just get that quick pass to. Michael Pittman, maybe, but Josh Downs, his skill set specifically is one that just kind of stands alone in this Colts room as a great combination of sure hands, speed, agility, and all of that type of stuff. Josh Downs going to make a big difference when he comes back. We know, of course, that his chemistry with Anthony Richardson was absolutely off the charts during training camp, to the point where I thought that this was really not a wide receiver 1 and 2 situation with Michael Pittman Jr. being 1 and Josh Downs being 2. I thought it was maybe much more like a 1A Michael Pittman Jr., 1B Josh Downs. Big difference. Can I say it again? He'll make a big difference. And how bad do we need a veteran presence in that DB room? Fuck if I know. We need anything. What we need in that DB room are some guys that can stay healthy is what we need in that DB room, okay? We need freaking divine intervention in that DB room right now just to stay healthy, okay? So a veteran presence, I don't know. As far as corners go, I will say this. It's not a position that ages particularly well. Some would say that's the hardest position in football outside of the quarterback, because ultimately you're sitting there left to guess with these incredible athletes in front of you, right? The wide receiver has the advantage because he knows the play. The corner, on the other hand, has no freaking clue. He's just reacting to what's in front of him. Needless to say, as you get older, you get slower and ultimately can't react to and break on routes the same way you once did. So is a veteran presence needed? I'm not 100% sure about that. I kind of like having young legs in the secondary. But what we need are the guys to get reps and for somebody to step up in the absence of Juju Brents for the rest of the season. Next question. Mike HT5DN said, do you think the Colts can still have a winning season this year? Now, I don't know what you mean by winning season, but if your standard is a winning record, well, yeah, I think the math still works out for that one, right, Mike? I mean, they're 0-1, right? You got a 17-game season. Yes, I think the Colts can still have a winning season. As angry and pessimistic as I am right now, I absolutely think that's possible. I think a winning season, even if only 9-8 like last year, should be the standard for this team right here. Brian Weiss, 8822, said AR is definitely a dude. That he absolutely is, my brother. Make no mistake. That man is a gamer at the quarterback position. But do you think the Colts should shift the focus to becoming a running team identity with JT and just let AR dink and dunk along the way? Let AR get his footing. It'll come together naturally. Too much pressure for him to be Peyton or Luck. Thoughts? Yeah, I would say you're pretty much on the money right there, and I think that's what the Colts plan to do. I think every now and then, my one criticism of Shane Steichen, who I think arguably right now, and I think history will, the take I'm saying right now, even if it can't be proven right now, I think history will look kindly on this take. I think that's one of the top 5 head coaches in the NFL right now, okay? My one criticism with him is that when he sees success in the passing game, he does tend to start to kind of get away from the run game a little bit, as is easy to do. As far as AR being just dink and dunk, I'm not sure if those are exactly his strengths, even though we want to see him do those things. But what you said, start with running the ball and then get him some quick, easy, short throws, let him get in rhythm. That's absolutely a formula for success for this offense. but I would like AR to be allowed to use his arm. We saw that throw to Alec Pierce. A big strength of his, of course, is the fact that apparently he could throw it 65 yards in the air off his back foot. Okay, so to answer your question, yes, Brian Weiss, I guess so. I guess that would be not a bad idea for you right there. Let's see. What other questions do we have right here? But bing, 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 bing. Let's see. Justin Spears, a fellow Justin. This will be the last one, and then we'll sign off, and you'll see me again another time. Justin Spears, 9220, said, you probably addressed this in an off-season show, which I did, but it can evolve as game action starts. That it can, Justin. Good point. Justin's with the big brains, the great thoughts. What would your definition of a successful season be for this Colts team? I know for me, playoffs is my expectation. And okay, hold on. That wasn't me saying that. That was Justin Spears. So let me just stick with the question. What would your definition of a successful season be for this Colts team? Good question. For me personally, I'm not quite sure it's playoffs, and I'm going to sound like a little bit of a politician here. Being in the mix right now, it is just fine for me. I think you look at where the Colts are this season, and it's very similar to where the Texans were last season. Now, it's not to say that if we are right in the mix at the end of the season that Chris Ballard is going to go quite do what the Texans did this offseason. But last year, what the Texans did is they said, okay, let's see what C.J. Stroud can do. Let's see what he's got, and let's evaluate whether or not he's the guy. It was clear and obvious very, very quick that he was. The Colts right now, kind of in that situation. Success this year is Anthony Richardson playing a full season or damn near all of the season, him getting better, and this team showing resilience, not giving up, and being in the mix, right? Ultimately, we need this team to at least sniff the playoffs, right? If we come out of this season knowing that Anthony Richardson is the quarterback of the future definitively based off the evidence that's been put in front of us, not just our faith in him as a guy, right? That will be success and ultimately set us up to really make a push to try to make to become a real contender during his rookie contract. Okay, I answered some questions right there. Of course, I'll probably answer some more in a different show. I'm going to keep doing that because I kind of like that. It gives you guys an opportunity to shape the content a little bit over here and gets me some topics that maybe I wouldn't be thinking about. A lot of times I'm just, I have a day job, right? So I'm kind of at work, and then I come home, and then I prepare, and then I'm out here talking to you, and everything's moving very, very fast. These questions give me an opportunity to think about things a little bit differently, and I appreciate that from you guys who offered a question. If your question wasn't answered this time, eventually I'm sure your question will be answered if you ask a good one. Not that listen, there were some good questions I didn't get to right here, right? Don't take an insult, okay? We're not literalists over here. But yeah. Let me stop talking before I dig a deeper hole for myself right now in the world of political correctness. So my name is Justin. This right here was the Ride on the Bench Colts podcast in rare form. Like, subscribe, and whatever. As always, go Colts.